Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is now in the national spotlight after Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris picked him as her running mate. As Delane Cleveland reports, a New Hope man has a long personal history with Walz.
As a small-town kid turned soldier, football coach, teacher, husband, and dad.
As the nation becomes acquainted with Governor Walz,
I said I'll be there to do whatever I can to help.
We know that he's certainly no stranger to the Northwest Metro. He's made frequent visits to talk about things like expanding workers' compensation benefits and food bank assistance.
We're going to hold ourselves accountable, and we are going to reduce hunger in Minnesota.
It's a good choice.
But few people can say they've known Walz as long as David Boone.
You see all the stuff in the news about Tim being a football coach. Tim was also a girls basketball coach. Tim was the JV coach and I was the B squad coach. So we coached together, hung out together.
Boone is a former Robbinsdale school board member. In the late 90s, he worked with Walz at Mankato West High School. And as Boone went through a divorce, he rented a so-called mother-in-law apartment from Walz.
It just emphasized that true caring nature of Tim.
He calls Walz kind and authentic, and he believes that's the kind of person Americans will see on the campaign trail.
What you see is what you get. He's going to speak the truth. He's going to speak from the heart.
In New Hope, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
The Hennepin County Board backpedaled Tuesday on plans to give itself a nearly 50% raise.
It is clear from the feedback that we've received that even though these actions passed in committee last week, the pronounced feedback results in strong opposition by many residents.
Board Chair Irene Fernando proposed increasing pay for Hennepin County Commissioners last week. If approved, their salary would have jumped from about $122,000 to $182,000. Fernando withdrew her proposal at Tuesday's board meeting, citing resident feedback. Board members Kevin Anderson and Jeff Lundy were among those who previously spoke against the increase. Robbinsdale police have a new tool to help them take action at fire scenes. At the Monday night council meeting, the Minnesota Freemasons and Masonic Charities donated 10 fire suppression tools to the police department. Those tools look like small briefcases, but when opened, have a life-saving tool inside. Robbinsdale Captain John Elder says the FSTs, when deployed, can reduce a fire's temperature by 1,000 degrees in a minute.
Police officers are arriving on fire scenes 5 to 7 minutes ahead of the fire department, giving us the tools to knock down or eliminate a fire goes a long way to preserving life and property.
Each tool will go in a Robbinsdale squad car once officers are trained on them. Elder says the department is grateful for the Masons' donation. Tuesday, August 6th is National Night Out across many of our communities. In Maple Grove, police held a kickoff event in Central Park Tuesday afternoon. Kids explored emergency vehicles from several different agencies. Maple Grove Police Chief Eric Warner also worked the grill, serving hot dogs and brats. The event was held at the community center for about 20 years, but it moved this year due to construction. Officials were still looking forward to a big turnout.
I can't thank residents enough. We've always had very good turnout for this event, even with, everything the world's gone through in the last few years.
And for those viewing this on Tuesday, you can check our website for National Night Out and Night to Unite information for your town. On any given day, an accident could change the course of a person's life. For local artist Peter Ross, that day was on January 17th while he was at work in his Plymouth office. But as Delane Cleveland reports, he's found a way to adapt.
Most everything I do has some of my imagination in it.
Art isn't new for Peter Ross.
I'm drawing a loon.
In fact, the 61-year-old has drawn and painted for much of his life.
It's therapeutic, it's enjoyable, it's fun, it's something I love to do.
But this year, Ross has had to make one significant tweak to his artistic process.
Well, it's my left hand, which I didn't even know I could draw with my left hand. And I'm kind of amazed at how quickly it came along.
He's using his left hand because of an accident that happened at his Plymouth office back on January 17th.
We got a call for a worker with their hand stuck in a piece of machinery. We didn't really know what kind of machinery or anything like that until we arrived there.
When first responders arrived, they found Ross with his right hand stuck in the rollers of a big printing machine that he was trying to clean.
It was stuck, yeah. I think it was about 40 minutes, half hour, somewhere in there.
A colleague called the manufacturer in the Netherlands to find out how to disassemble that section of the machine, and first responders took it from there.
We just all did our jobs. The paramedics started pain control right away. The police officer were assisting with patient care, and the fire department actually started the removal of his hand.
From there, it was off to North Memorial in Robbinsdale for 8.5 hours of surgery to fix the 4 breaks in his hand.
It hurt.
Followed by skin grafts and months of physical therapy.
So much better than it was.
Now, nearly 7 months later, Ross is meeting the people who freed his hand for the first time since the accident.
Thought I'd reach out. I wanted to reach out.
That's awesome. We appreciate that.
Every one of the first responders at this table had a role in helping Ross last January. It's one of the rare occasions where someone has returned to say thanks.
For somebody to come back and say thanks and feel that sense of accomplishment, if you will, and success, it feels really good.
As for Ross,
There I drew my hand where the brakes are.
he hopes his right hand will return to full strength.
So I'm very, very happy about that.
But thanks to a little determination, his left hand is serving as a worthy substitute.
It came along very well, and it's been fun, in a weird sort of way, to find a silver lining.
In St. Paul, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
If you'd like to check out some of Peter Ross's left-handed art, he'll be at the Lakeville Art Festival the weekend of September 22nd.